Right. So yesterday when we talked about the Super Falcons, it was about the team's coaching situation. But today we have a squad list released for the team's upcoming women's AFCON qualification against Sao Tome. And in this video, we will of course be taking a look at that list. But also we're going to be talking about the UEFA Women's Champions League qualification draw that took place today. So before we get more into details, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you very much. So yeah, the Super Falcons will face Sao Tome on Friday the 22nd of September, not too long from today. The game will be hosted at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena in Lagos. Pretty nice stadium to host such a game. And the return leg will be played on Tuesday the 26th of September. So that's like 4 days away from the first leg. So it's going to be bunched in right there. And like I said, the list was released today. 24 players invited in total. 3 goalkeepers, 8 defenders, 6 midfielders, and 7 forwards. Now, a good number of players who were at the World Cup did not make this team. The players from the World Cup are goalkeepers Chiamaka Nnadozie and Tochukwu Eluehi, central defenders Onome B and Tosin Demehi, fullback Michelle Aloze, midfielders Christy Ucheibe and Rashida Tajibade. Actually, Rashida Tajibade and Tony Payne also made the team. Then you have forwards Ifeoma Numonu, Asisat Oshwala, and Gift Monday also making the team. As far as the rest, you got a whole bunch of young players. Some players who play overseas that missed the cut for the World Cup also making this team. Now, when you look at those players, you got a player like Monle Onyono, the under-20 goalkeeper, has not played for the under-20 since the World Cup. Don't really know if she's the under-20 goalkeeper that Randy Waldron was kind of being forced to select. But either way, she makes this team. Then you also got Akuro Ogbonna. She had made the team a whole bunch of times before, but did not go to the World Cup. Now plays for Remo Stars ladies. I ain't know Remo Stars had a women's squad already. But then you got Comfort for Lauren Shaw. She played a game at the WAFU. Don't know what happened to her after that. She was on the bench from then on, but she's a top player. Played the under-17 World Cup, was part of that team that won the bronze medal. So definitely a top player. Edo Queens is a new team. Didn't know that. I mean, you get your transfer information when the list comes out, really. Then you also got Nicole Payne, PSG. Of course, she was going to make the team. Once she made that move to PSG, it's almost like that just stamped herself in the national team. That's just how it is. I mean, it might not be right, but that's just how it is. When you get to a club like that, you kind of cement yourself in the national team. Then you got Jumoke Alani, Edo Queens, one of the best fullbacks in the league, selected. She was part of the under-20 squad, the World Cup squad that went to the second round of the World Cup. And she was also part of the WAFU team. Definitely a good player, has been selected for the Super Falcons. Actually got an appearance against Japan, if I'm not mistaken. Then, of course, I apologize, Rofield and Moran was part of the World Cup team, did not play in the World Cup. And she makes this team. Maybe she's going to be making up for lost time by starting in this match. Ashley Plumpton not on this team. One big miss from this team. Probably giving her time to get acclimated over there in Saudi Arabia. Peace Effie, she was part of the women's AFCON team. Scored a goal in the group stage. I can't really remember who she scored against, but she definitely did score a goal in the group stage. Back on the team. Then you got Esther Oyene Zide, Esther Oyene Zidane, like I call her, top player, FC Robo, one of the best players in the Nigerian Women's Football League at the moment. She was part of the WAFU squad. She scored a bunch of goals in that competition. Of course, part of the Under-20 World Cup, the best player in that competition, also for the for the Falcons over there. So she makes the team. There's been a lot of talk about her not making the team. Even when she made it last time, she didn't really get that much playing time. So hopefully we get to see a little bit more this time. Regina O'Toole, speaking of players who were on the team before but did not make the World Cup team, she had gotten a bunch of appearances before the World Cup, but sadly did not make the World Cup team. She makes a return appearance into the Super Falcons. Then you got Flores Sebastian, Of course, Floyd Sebastian, top player in the Nigerian Women's Football League. She gets a selection. Also, a lot of talk about her not being on the team. And she did get a little bit of time against Japan in a friendly match. She has a cap for the Super Falcons. So hopefully she gets to do a little bit more this time. Then you got Vivian Ikechukwu Besiktas. She didn't make the World Cup team. Another player that didn't make the World Cup team. Top player, but appearances or performances before the World Cup were not that good, to be honest. And it wasn't too much of a surprise that she didn't make the team. But she's definitely a talented player. Anybody who watched the first Women's Champions League, the CAF Women's Champions League, she was a star on that Rivers Angels team. Of course, you go to the Aisha Buhari Cup. She had that ridiculous goal against South Africa, the 2-goal match against South Africa. So definitely a top player right there. Chiamaka Nnadozie, a good player in the Nigerian Women's Football League, but to be honest, hasn't really done too much for the selection. But you got other young players. She's up there with those young players, so she does kind of deserve the selection. But I mean, you got a player like Chiamaka Nnadozie, you got Messi Omonkwo. That's where I'm coming with that. It's nothing against Chiamaka Nnadozie, but when you got players like that, I mean, it's kind of tough to say that she deserves it over those two right there. Then finally, you got Naijabiasfc Robo, of course, the under-17 player, former under-17 player, now play for the under-20. I used to call her Baby Oshwala. Very strong, very fast, real skillful, can score goals. I mean, a top player. I mean, it's good to see on the team. But to tell the truth, also a player like her, when you look at the Nigerian Women's Football League, she has not been really bringing it. She's not a starter for a team. Let's start there first. She's not a regular starter for a team. Let's take that back, because she started some matches for the team, especially after the under-20 WAFCON, I apologize. So she definitely played, but I mean, she has not really put her foot in the league like a player like probably Esther Yenezide, or even, like I said, Messi Omonkwo, Chiamaka Nnadozie. These are players you look at when you talk about the best players in the league. But either way it goes, I feel like this is a good list, not the worst list ever. These are some good players, so no problems with any of it. Congratulations to the players who getting their first selection into the Super Falcons. Hopefully we get to see all of them shine. Another thing we have to keep in mind is that these are not the only matches the Super Falcons will be playing. Next month, they're going to be playing the Olympic qualifiers against Ethiopia. So we definitely can't be calling everybody. We might have to just split it up and call some other players for that other game, because you can't be calling players back to back. Their clubs might not be happy about it and things like that. So that has to also be considered when you think about the players being selected for these matches. Moving on to the UEFA Women's Champions League. And yeah, when I did the highlights for Chiamaka Nnadozie and Paris FC, I kind of made a big mistake. I said they are qualified into the group stage of the UEFA Women's Champions League, and I was wrong on all counts. And yes, they are right now in the qualification series. As you see right here, they're in the league path. There are 2 paths. I don't know why they got all this paths, Champions path, league path. Look, whoever wins the best out of 2 matches, they're getting into the group stage. So I don't know why they did all that. It actually confused me, because I was thinking after you win this, you might have to play another game. But no, you played a 2-legged affair in this situation, and the winner goes to the UEFA Women's Champions League. So we're going to start with the league path, which has Paris FC and Wolfsburg. Paris FC, of course, Chiamaka Nnadozie up in there. And you got Wolfsburg. Wolfsburg played in the finals of the UEFA Women's Champions League. So this is a tough contest. But honestly, Paris FC is also a good side. People really be looking down on Paris FC. But you got to understand, they're going against Lyon, one of the greatest teams in UEFA history. They have won so many Champions League. They're going against PSG, of course, a money club. They got enough money to throw at the women's team. So they're definitely going against 2 upper echelon type teams. But they hold their own in that league. and people just need to understand that they're really a good team. Now, do they have what it takes to beat Wolfsburg? I'm not a soothsayer, so I'm not going to go into that. What my heart tells me is they're going to win because I'm going with Chiamaka Nnadozie wherever she goes. You understand? So I'm with Paris FC, but who knows? This is a real tough tie right here. Wolfsburg in two rounds. So maybe the home and the away, we could do something. So, I mean, this is going to be a real tough one. I wish they had gotten a little bit cheaper kind of draw, but you got to take what you're given. You beat Arsenal, so you definitely can beat Wolfsburg. You've shown that you're up in that level. So hopefully they get to, get everything done at the end of the day. Then you got this one, the Champions Path. Of course, Benfica, Christy, Ucheibe, and Benfica had a great match in the last round, 4-0 in their game, and they moved on to this round right here. Apollon, I think they can get that done. Not saying that Apollon is not a good team, but I feel like Benfica has what it takes. They have the players. They have a great player in Christy Ucheibe. So I feel like it's going to be a good one right here. Benfica really should be getting the job done. Then you got Rosengard. I wouldn't say that I'm 100% sure that we got Halimatu Ayinde still at Rosengard, because as you see the team list right now, players are moving left and right. You don't know who's where. But Halimatu Ayinde was with Rosengard the last time I checked, so she's probably going to be with Rosengard when they play Spartak Subotica. And that club is from Serbia. I feel like that might also be a game that Rosengard should be winning pretty easily. You won't put none past any team, but it looks like Rosengard should get the job done in that situation, and no problems at all come out of it. But that being said, let me know your thoughts on these two situations. Let me know your thoughts on the Super Falcons list to take on Sao Tome. And also let me know your thoughts on these Champions League draws right here. How you feel these teams are going to do. How you feel the Super Falcons players are going to do. Let me know in the comment section. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.